So it is with great excitement that we introduce you to the remarkable Serena Kerrigan, a true force to be reckoned with in the world of digital content creation and modern dating expertise. Through her trailblazing content and fearless approach to life, Serena has captured the hearts and minds of a global audience. Her journey is one of inspiration, creativity, and an unwavering commitment to helping others lead lives of purpose and passion. Today, we have the extraordinary privilege of delving into Serena's world, a world that seamlessly blends dating, empowerment, and the pursuit of one's dreams. Serena, thank you so much for being here.
I'm like gonna cry at that intro.
Hannah's words that I
write them,
which is
I
why
just
it's
can't say
choppy.
them. I don't know why.
I'm moved. Thank you.
I was researching you and I was like, she is such a fucking powerhouse. Like in every single way, shape, or form. And I think that kind of honestly leads me into my first question. You are like kind of dubbed the Queen of Confidence. And even just like this first 3 minutes of meeting you, you exude confidence. What does confidence mean to you?
I think it just means like you are the main character of your life.
Yeah.
And also that I really treat myself as my own best friend. So I will later like reread that intro that you wrote to myself in the mirror, you know? Like it's obviously so validating and amazing to hear this from both of you who I respect so much, but also like anyone giving you a compliment. But like what I've trained myself to do is like there's no compliment greater than the one you could give to yourself.
100%. And you hear that so much of like, you know, people who are life coaches, people who are in your position who are trying to teach people confidence of staring at yourself in the mirror. Like I write little messages on little Post-it notes around thing and I read them to myself every morning. I'm like, you are a bad bitch and you're going to like kill today. So it truly is.
I love this, but I don't know anything about you from the beginning. I know you today and I'm a big coffee drinker. Okay. And the fact that we're doing dating and I saw you do the big partnership with Joe and the Juice, I was like, oh, we have to. Serena is number one because of those loves minds. How did you start? Like, where did this all start for you?
Well, I went to Duke and then I graduated.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Smart cookie.
Did you go to the games, the basketball games?
Of course.
Oh,
and hooked up with a couple basketball players, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
What year?
Now
Me
in
and you
the
both,
NBA.
baby. Me
Wait,
and you
what
both.
year was this?
I graduated in 2016 from Duke. So I was there during the national championship.
Grayson Allen, was he there? No.
Grayson Allen was there. I didn't hook up with him. But I did say that I was more famous than him at Duke. Like that was my energy, which like was not true.
So this is so fascinating. So for context, as Hannah's an Australian, Duke is one of the top schools.
Even as an Australian, I know like Duke, Harvard, a couple of other ones
Duke
where
is
you
like
just already know are the upper
Duke is like a
echelon.
Stanford. So like Harvard's an Ivy Leaguer. Duke and Stanford are like non-Ivy League, but like super cool and smart.
And like everyone loves to hate Duke, and I love that.
Duke's like the Yankees.
Give you more
like,
confidence
You
on
either
that.
hate the Yankees or you love the Yankees, and Duke is like that.
I'm
You hate
indifferent
them.
about the Yankees, so come at me after that.
Honestly, same. So I went to Duke, and then I actually studied abroad in Australia, in Sydney. Loved
We were
it.
just talking about them.
Literally loved it. And then
They would have loved you just as a
they did.
Adored.
More than the basketball players. Let me tell you, I had some fun. Everyone's beautiful there. I literally was like, "What is in the water?" In
I don't know what they put in
Australia?
the
Everyone's stunning,
so tall.
unbelievable.
Love it.
So then I actually worked at Refinery 29 for 3.5 years, making videos like for them. Like I really loved the idea of creating. I've always wanted to be a filmmaker, and I just loved the idea of like working at a digital media company. It was like pre-TikTok, pre-all. Like yes, there were a lot of YouTubers, but like actually just like graduating from Duke and being like, I'm gonna be a content creator, like wasn't a thing quite yet.
Yeah.
And I worked there, and I learned how to manage a team, produce for no money, and I was also building my brand on the side. And then 2 weeks before lockdown, I quit my job, because I wanted to like build my empire. And I did, obviously. But
clearly.
that was just like, that was my start. My start was literally being like, okay, I'm going to quit to like build an empire. And then I was like, oh my God, like
I did it
in my apartment. And like, I had to build it now, which in some ways was a great blessing because I really focused. And I was also able to capitalize on a moment where everyone was on their phone and watching content.
I think you and Joe have that in common just in terms of like that motivation when lockdown happened. It's either you sink or swim, either you like push all of that energy into it or not. And both of you created incredible things.
I feel like it was like a big turning point for the way people actually thought about themselves. And a lot of people like, oh, this is so nice. I get to do nothing and like I could let myself go. And then there was other people that were like, oh no, this is my turn to get ahead. This is like my time to shine.
It's so funny.
And-
My psychiatrist, I called him freaking, like, 2 weeks in. Because I also was like, I felt the weight of being single so much during that period of lockdown. Like, because my roommate had left with her boyfriend to upstate. Like, my parents were like in their apartments. I was going to see them. I felt very isolated to a degree where like, I felt like all my friends with significant others were like isolated with their significant others. So like, they had someone. I felt so alone. And I capitalized on that too, because then I started the whole dating show and the game and stuff. But I remember my psychiatrist said, like, there's 2 types of people. One that are just gonna like sit and wait for this to end, and 2 that are just like gonna stare it in the face and fucking get to work. And I was like, and he was like, who are you? And I was like, I'm gonna get to work.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I hate to say this, but if COVID didn't happen, I probably wouldn't have started First Rounds on Me, and I probably wouldn't have had the time to like put everything into it because I had like a finance job and it took up my whole life. And
You got paid well, and it was like, you had like
I didn't have the time or urgency.
quote unquote cushy life. But I think that's the defining factor about personality types like both of yours is like you see a challenge and you go, I'm going to fucking throw my entire self into this.
What sign are you?
Taurus.
Okay. I'm an Aries, but
I'm a Sagittarius. Nobody asked, but I
don't know what any of this
literally
means.
no one
I don't know what any of it means.
I used to
but-
date a Sagittarius.
Sagittarius men are a whole fucking different ballgame.
Scary stuff.
So true.
But great sex. God, my boyfriend's gonna hate me for all the things I'm saying on this podcast. Whatever.
It's all in the past. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So I feel like Tinks, she went to Stanford, but then is obviously super famous for like content creation. And I think it gives her more credibility because maybe to the outside world, people who get into content or influencer lifestyle, it's like, oh, well, you're not smart enough to do anything else.
Wow, I like so fundamentally disagree with that. But
Well, to the outside world, not to me, because
I know,
I
not to
deal
you.
with
I know.
influencers and like I think they're pioneers for like changing the way that they want to work, and every brand
Changing the
wants to work with
landscape
them.
of a lot of things. Yeah.
But I feel like because Tinks went to Stanford, you went to Duke, it's like you have that validation that helps a little bit. Like, oh, I could have done your finance job, or I could have done your accounting job, but I wanted to do this. This is what I want to do.
So complimentary, but I definitely couldn't have done that finance job.
Okay.
And I think, there's a degree of privilege that like I was able to attend a school like Duke. And like, I think a lot of people would argue like how much more smart am I than a person that didn't attend it? One.
Yeah.
2, I think like people love to shit on influencers and say it's so vapid and whatever. Like I just so fun. And I'm not saying that you're saying that.
No, I was saying
But I
to,
just
like,
so
the layperson.
fundamentally disagree that anyone can be an influencer. Like clearly not. And
Right.
also like I don't even categorize myself as an influencer. Like I'm an entrepreneur.
Yep.
And if anything, a content creator as a subset. But regardless, I think that influencers, like they are creating content every single day. They're editing, shooting, directing their own content. They're selling millions of dollars of goods to brands. So it's like, do I think that saying that I go to Duke gives me any kind of leg up? Honestly, no.
Okay.
Like maybe
it
in
doesn't
the public
legitimize
eye,
it in any way, shape, or form.
Like I feel like I think that what Duke taught me was like storytelling, because that's what I majored in, like visual media studies and English. And like I think I'm like a storyteller above anything else through my branded content and stuff. So maybe if they're like, oh, like she went to Duke, that kind of makes sense. But like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a great point because
I drank a lot in college. Like I wasn't like a nerd, you know what I mean? So like I don't know.
Who didn't?
But
But
it is a
I
great
did
point.
build my brand there. Like that's when I first started becoming Serena fucking Kerrigan. So
yeah, but it's a great point.
Is
Because,
that your middle name? Is that your legal middle name? Of
course.
we always talk about like getting behind the scenes shots and trying to like do Instagram reels and stuff, and even just trying to do it is so hard.
I'm horrible at it.
Yeah, and like the fact that not only do you have to do it every day, but you have to like do it good and like get people to believe in it. Like you're your own business,
totally.
and it's crazy.
And it's constant output all the time. And I think that that's something that creators deal with like on the regular, which is just like, how do I manage like this expectation that you have to create every single day and have it be viral is like an insane task. And like even our favorite, artists like Beyonce or Taylor Swift, like they're not creating content every day. They're not creating music every day.
Yeah.
So
What do you find like the hardest or the most like difficult part of being a full-time entrepreneur and content creator is?
I feel like it's the fact that like I want to do so many things and I can't clone myself.
That is fair.
It's literally so annoying. Like you're like the book. I'm like, yeah, no. If I could clone myself, the book would have been written by now. But like I'm doing, Joe and the Juice campaign, card games, like a streaming service, comedy shows.
Were you
like,
talking about the collaboration with
Joe and the Juice
the one
and Adobe Express.
Adobe,
Like, I just
yeah.
made a sick video for them. love their tools. It's great to use them as a creator.
Oh, incredible.
But regardless, like I wish I could clone myself. That's the one thing I wish I could do.
All right, scientists, get on it.
So
Figure it out.
now, okay, let's
Like,
go.
She's
So
not
let's go
asking
back
too
to now when this all started during the pandemic.
Yes.
So you saw your friends in relationships and it made you feel some type of way.
So upset.
So did you start becoming a storyteller and a content creator for dating specific, or was it kind of overall?
Well, I literally went live because I had a background in live content at Refinery. Like, would interview celebrities live. Like, it's such a great. I find it so exhilarating, and I hate editing. So like, I love that you just didn't even have to edit it. You're like, bye, done. But also like really good media training because it's like a one take wonder
so
kind of
good.
deal, which is why I am so good on camera.
I love you so much.
See, the
I literally
compliments
like I
and
love
stuff,
you
it's very
so
important,
much
right? No,
now.
I love you
can't
too.
handle it.
So, like, I loved live. And I remember when I quit my job and I was like, you know, the same way that you started a podcast, I was thinking about a podcast, starting one. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do what feels so natural to me. And that is just going live, right?
Yeah.
I went live every single day on Instagram. It's called Quarantinis with SFK. And I would drink like a bottle of
What was it
wine.
called? Quarantine what?
Quarantinis
Quarantinis.
with SFK.
Oh.
And it was
okay.
like I drink a bottle of wine in the face every night. We'd clap for the healthcare workers at 6 p.m. Like, no, literally every fucking day I would go live and like talk to my fans. They would come on, like, and then I kept talking and bringing up, like, I'm so single. This makes no sense. It's so against my brand, which is like all about loving yourself and not needing a guy, da da da. And then someone was like, you should like go on a date in front of all of us. And then like it evolved into Let's Fucking Date, which was like huge and went massively viral. And like I dated a guy every single Friday at 8 p.m.
Wait.
live.
Hold on. I got like my brain's spinning now. So
I know.
the date, you went on the date in front of your audience. What was the date? Who was it with? How did it happen?
Oh my God. Well, I dated 50 men in 2020 on Instagram Live.
What do you mean on Instagram Live? Like
So I
virtual
started
dates?
a viral dating show. But like, it's interesting because like, obviously all of us were in different pockets of content. So I'm like, I'm not even offended that you didn't see it. I'm just sad for you because it was so iconic. But basically I hired a producer to vet guys. I literally said to my fans like, hi, like, or anyone really, like, if you have anyone to set me up with, will they go on a 30-minute date with me on Instagram Live? And then the producer would vet them. It was completely blind. I never knew who the guy was. And
It's incredible.
it took off so much so that I did 3 seasons of the show. The second season, I got literally sponsored. I got like 6-figure deals for the show. Bumble bought an episode, a month worth of episodes. All the guys like we found on Bumble, and like I wore yellow, and like
is
it
so
was so
awesome.
cute. But basically, like I just because you know it was such a great time to like try something, and it was legitimately like television. Like it was television on Instagram. I ended up like not picking a winner ever. Then I let my audience pick one for season 3, which was the last season, and then he ended up on Not Too Hot to Handle on Netflix. So you're welcome.
Damn. Yes, but so you really pumped him
Wow,
up
that's
there.
so fascinating. So
Yeah,
were
that was
a
great.
lot of these guys, so you obviously like you're great live and you're very confident.
Thank
When these guys came on,
Terrified.
because I couldn't imagine like
You'd be very intimidating.
if
Oh,
if Hannah was like, hey, I'm doing this show, like you're my date tonight, and I was on, and you were like grilling me with your audience, I'd be like,
Deer in
terrified.
this is
headlights, mate.
intimidating.
So a couple things. One, we didn't know the state of the world. Like a lot of us thought we were gonna die. So like I think a lot of people were like, for the plot, YOLO, like let's just do this. 2, people were like single and like the dates were like really real at some points. And I took it seriously, at least in the first season. But then like it became a little clout chasey. But I think part of like the fun was like that, yeah, like it was an empowered woman and a guy would have to come on and like do his thing and like
Hold his fucking own.
the hardest thing was that like there's a comment section, and that was like that's how we got it to be so viral, because people were literally like talking to like their coworkers or friends, and like they're all shitting on the guy in the comments or being like, show me his room, show me his tattoo, like where's his mom. Like it got crazy. There was like a villain, like it got really intense, the show. Yeah.
Wait, was there anybody on the show? Because you said that you didn't really end up like picking anybody or choosing, but was there like somebody that you were like, oh, maybe?
No, yeah, the guy that my fans chose, Marie, is the winner in season 3. I changed the concept to called Fantasy Fucking Date, and the whole thing was like draft picks, and like it was really cool. The marketing.
Why is this not a thing still?
Because I'm not single anymore. Thank God. And I was,
Yay.
but I was single for 5 years. I think I've been on like 500 first dates. I've done the work. Why isn't it a thing anymore? Because I think part of the success of the show was that we were in lockdown, or we were in very pandemic times of not being able to leave our apartment. Can you imagine if like I was like, tonight I'm dating a guy on Instagram Live, and you guys were like, well, we're out.
We're fucking
Like,
out of
we're
the bars,
done.
mate. Yeah.
I did 3 seasons. I made a lot of money. I started my card game business. I met amazing men. I learned so much about myself. Like I got everything I wanted out of it. And
Yeah.
I think like the biggest mistake people make is like they don't know when to leave the party.
Like Seinfeld. They ended the show exactly when it was meant to be ended, and then it lives on as a legacy forever, and that's kind of like the similar thing.
Like you leave people wanting more.
Yeah.
About everything.
But and I think it's great because we always talk, obviously, like we always talk about when you're dating, I think there's no bad date because of course the date itself could be bad,
100%.
but like you learn exactly what you want.
Valuable
and don't
Or
want.
you get an orgasm, like God willing. Or like, you got like a drink.
We were talking about that the other day because we were talking about the fact that of sleeping with somebody on the first date, right? And I always had this rule that if I liked the person, I wouldn't sleep with them on the first date. Like if I felt like an emotional connection. But if I was like, but you're attractive, I will sleep with you on the first date because orgasm, right?
Well, again, God willing.
hopefully, crossing fingers. But it was like that mindset that Joe was just kind of like, and I was like,
guys are like,
hence I didn't sleep with him until the second date, so he knew that I liked him.
yeah. I waited till the third, though I came very close on the second date with my boyfriend.
I was like, I shouldn't sleep with him on the second date, but I was so horny.
Right.
And I was not going to push past it. And I liked him. There was like a real physical attraction.
And I feel like guys don't care if they like you. They just don't give a shit.
I think that but to your point, you were like the first date is a no-no in your mind.
A guy's never gonna say no.
He's never gonna say no.
Like
But yeah.
If a woman is somewhat like attractive and she's like, I want to have sex with you.
No, okay.
All right, sure.
Man, you're so simple.
So simple.
But if it was someone I knew I really saw a future with and I really liked and they slept with me on the first date, of course I'd be happy. Like, yeah, I had sex.
Then it was like, how many other guys is she doing?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm just
Which makes sense.
just
She's
one of
mad.
many.
But again, men, simple minds. You know what I mean? It goes from point A to B. We go from fucking point A to
like
all around here.
a web.
Exactly. How did you meet your partner? Now?
I went on his podcast,
Ooh.
which is
That makes me really happy.
It's called Where's This Going? And I know where it went. Let me tell you.
So you went on just as you are now as a guest?
Totally. Like
you
I actually
guys-
had less makeup on for that than I do right now. Like I literally he called me an Uber Black, which you guys did too. Thank you. So like I remember being like, oh, okay. And later I found out, I was like, do you do that for all your guests? He was like, no. And I was like,
So sorry. to
We've
cut you
never
off.
done that for any guest.
So it's so funny. I am
just for you, my
late
darling.
to every podcast, like
Every podcast.
habitually late. And we sent you the Uber Black, and you got here early, and we were right down the street. I was like, we have to go. She's like, we have 10 minutes. I was like, no, Serena's there. We have to go. We can't be late. And she's like, why do you care so much now to
was like,
not be
she's
late?
gonna be fine,
I said,
don't
because
worry."
Serena's on a different level. We have to be there for Serena.
okay, obsessed. And you're right. But thank you. You guys were prompt.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So amazing, incredible.
But I want to hear the.
Yeah, so he just it was literally like love at first podcast, guys. Like it was crazy. And also think about it. I just came from literally documenting like my entire dating life for a year. And then afterwards I continued to, obviously just not on the show. So the fact that the first date with my boyfriend, who is the love of my life, no doubt, is on camera is also kind of a mind fuck.
How long ago was this? And did you tell him after the podcast, or did he tell you hey, let's go get a drink or something?
It was in May, and I texted him. See, it doesn't really matter. And I was just like, I had so much fun, thank you. And he was just like, yeah, we have to continue over dinner. And then he took me to omakase. It was just it was a done deal. When I look at the podcast, it's so cringe because I'm literally
I really want to watch
goo
this now.
goo.
I feel like that's awesome because podcast dating might be the next wave because it was normal dating apps, podcast.
Podcast dating, a new way to find your.
That's
But you know what? Part of the magic was that I wasn't expecting anything at all. You
That's
know what
awesome.
I mean? And that really
Are you two similar, or are you kind of polar opposites?
we're both only children. We're both from New York City. I'm Manhattan, he's Brooklyn. And we're both our moms are foreign and we're bilingual. We have a lot of similarities, but I'm super extroverted, bad bitch energy. He's a little more just calm, subdued, just quiet confidence. Yeah.
I feel like that's the same with me and him. Actually, truth be told, I'm pretty extroverted, and he's extroverted too.
Yeah,
but
I think
he's
you're
I'm the high up and down, very that, and he's just kind of medium.
Yeah,
I'm a
okay.
social butterfly.
You are a social
She's
butterfly.
why do you have to be
so is my
friends with everyone? I'm I don't know. You just
Actually,
never
we should
know.
double date. I feel a lot of synergy here.
Oh, that'd be
Very
great.
cute.
So, question. Speaking about you being a couple, us being a couple, and you're in dating, I'm in dating, how do you guys handle it? Because our communication has gotten so good, and I always am talking about dating with mostly women.
Yeah.
It's pretty fine in our relationship.
It's pretty fine.
Well, there were. I think
Well,
because
from
I
time
have,
to time, you never know. It's just why are
have-
you talking to so and so long? I'm listen, it's work.
I have to preface this. I have deep seated trust issues. Every partner I've ever had have cheated on me, so I've always kind of like had that in the back of my mind. Then I meet a man who owns a fucking dating app, and I'm like, this is hitting on every single one of my triggers.
Oh, really? Why?
I don't know. I mean, it's taken me a lot of work to be able to get to the place where it's really not anymore. But at the initial steps of our relationship, I was just like, it was just very triggering in a lot of ways. Obviously, I was quite unhealed. But do you? Because his podcast is about dating as well.
No,
No,
not at all.
not at all.
So, and it's interesting, like how people like think the brand is like. I don't even think I'm really in the dating. I think I've almost evolved out. I think that now. I think I got to a point where like I was giving advice on the internet, and I wasn't sticking for me. Like I knew what I was saying was right because a lot of the advice that I give is really about yourself and to like not settle and to choose yourself first, and like it's not about like how to get a guy to fall in love with you. But like that being said, I was like, something is not like, why am I still single? And by the way, like I hated even saying that because I think at the end of the day, you complete yourself and everything is an additive. But like, it's okay for me to want to be in a relationship, right?
Well, then
I was
mutually
so
exclusive,
frustrated,
yeah.
right? And I was so fucking frustrated. And it's interesting because now, and then it happened when I least expected it, and I'm so happy. And now when I make content about dating, which is rare, honestly, not because of him or not, just because it's like, I feel like I just have evolved.
Yeah.
I'm not as interested in it anymore. Or I'm also still learning and I'm kind of like taking a breath before I talk about it. But it does really well, right? Like now when I talk about anything vis-a-vis dating, and I do, I feel like I came in to actually bring something new.
Do you feel like because of how you were single because you were intimidating to a lot of men?
It's interesting. Like I heard that over and over again. And everyone told me you need to go for an older guy. Like everyone told me. And my boyfriend's like younger than me.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and I think like it's funny, but it's almost like he was also born like, oh my God, someone said something so funny the other day. Like he was like born, sorry, he lived, not born. That makes him seem like he's 3 years old. No, but he grew up, his brain was still forming when Me Too was happening, right? Like guys my age, like Me Too, like we were already graduated from college, like, oh yeah, whatever. Like I think that like if you were in college during Me Too, like there was a different energy and vibe, and like again, your brain was still forming. Literally make him sound so
Your
young.
brain was just being
I
born.
swear he's legal. No, but I feel like, and also like he just was raised with a really strong mom, whatever, who cares? Regardless, yes, people always said I was intimidating. People always said I went to go one older. I don't think I'm intimidating. I think like I'm really confident in who I am. And like a guy, it's not that I'm too intimidating. It's a guy's too insecure.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Very different.
We were talking about this week. So when I lived in the city, I was like 26 to 29, 30. And if I met like a powerful woman my age, I'd internally be so insecure because I'm like, oh my God, like I can't give her what she wants. And she would be intimidating to me. So I think, yeah, like the powerful women who are so confident, they're single because
It's a
there's a lot of
projection.
guys out there that don't want to let them down and are like, I'd rather just avoid this.
But I think that's why you've been so successful in what you've done is like, even if like what you were saying to your point earlier is like maybe the advice that you were giving out wasn't working for you and it may not work for other people, but it's the confidence of which you have in yourself and the understanding.
about that.
And that is what it is. And so, yeah, I'm sure it is a projection of other people's insecurities of going, oh my God, she's intimidating. No, she's just a bad bitch.
But also like the content I used to make was like intensely like very like a persona. And I think that like if you'd never met me before and you came across my content, it would be scary. Like sometimes I watch my old content, I'm like, I'm fucking scared of this bitch. But like, I've evolved, whatever. But I think like I used to hide behind a persona a lot. And then as I've gotten older and evolved, like I feel more comfortable just being Serena and not like SFK. But I'm sure like when I look back at that shit, I'm like, okay, I get it. But like I refused to change. And I never changed myself for anyone. Like I didn't. I just like think that I became more comfortable in my own skin and then thus was ready to date someone.
And I think that's such a beautiful example for people out in the world. It's like you don't have to come out of the fucking womb confident. Like it takes time,
Oh my
it
God.
takes experience, and it takes some hardships to be able to get to the place where you just go, you know what, I am who I am, and I fucking love me for me, and I'm gonna wait for the person to come along who will love me just for me as well.
And I wrote Queen of Confidence in my Instagram bio literally when I think in 2018. Like I was 2 years out of college. Like I was nowhere near like who I am today. But it was more like I want to become this person.
Manifestation of it all.
Totally. And if the more you say it, the more it just becomes reality.
Well, as you were saying, it's like you look in the mirror every morning and you go, I'm a fucking bad bitch. And people
So
think,
I'm gonna pause and say, instead of saying I actually like what I say to my followers is to say you. Like when I look in the mirror, I'm not looking at myself, I'm looking at my best friend. And that kind of separation and distance makes it easier to compliment, because I think that people, when what I've said, like talk to yourself in the mirror, they're like, but I don't believe it. So I'm like, cool. You're not saying I, you're saying you. And I find that that language like might help.
It's fantastic advice, truly. I'm going to try
I am the queen of confidence.
I'm going to try it and I'll text you.
I
And
like
I'll
what
let
you
you
said
know how it
earlier though about like it's a cliche and I hear it a lot, but it hits home if you say it the right way, that you're the lead character in your own story.
100%.
Because like it's weird. From time to time you think like you're living in a simulation and like everything's just happening around you. But if you always know that like this is your story, like
It's your plot.
yeah, you're dictating what you're doing. Like people will come in and out, but it's your story.
100%.
That's it.
All right, before we dive into like dating and dating apps and all that kind of shit, I want to talk about your television, what is it, platform?
Streaming platform.
Streaming platform?
SFK TV.
Yes, that is the exact one I was talking about. Can you tell us what like the inspiration behind that was, basically? And what do you think is going to set that apart?
I mean, it's mine, so obviously it's going to set it apart.
I fucking love you so much.
But I feel like, it's about the fact that creators are the future of entertainment. I mean, think about it. Like with the strikes, with everything happening, like we're just like, we're out of the shit to watch. And we go and literally listen or watch podcasts. We're just constantly watching TikTok. We're on our phone and we're looking at creators. And I think it's so incredible that like we have that power, like to make and to create and like to be our own streaming platform. So I just thought like, why not make more long form content, which I've always wanted to do. Like, really like much longer episodes, 20 to 30 minute episodes, dropping every Sunday at 8 p.m. because we ain't getting HBO these days. and just like offering a community more exclusivity or more access to me really. And also really showing like the brains behind what I do. Like now that I feel like I'm more confident in myself, I have a relationship, I have success in my career, like now I'm ready to kind of give back to my community and really foster a relationship with them and with each other. Beautiful. I think like, I did a whole episode about the Making My Joan the Juice collaboration because so many people ask me about branding and like, how do you do it? And how did you come up with the concept and everything? And I feel like it's really that. So it's like a masterclass, like with the bottle of champagne.
Yes, but so you took the words out of my mouth. It's like a masterclass, but also more access to you. And as you said, it's like you were telling us earlier that you're kind of like you always wanted to be a filmmaker when you were growing up, and this truly is an avenue for that.
Why do I have to wait?
But it's not monopolized by these big studios anymore. Right. And content creations and content creators / entrepreneurs are the way of the future, and they're showing us that is possible.
So it's just like marketing it that way.
Yeah,
and it's like nobody could stop you now because
no one.
Say like 15 years ago, if you wanted to be a TV star or you wanted to be on a magazine, you had to go through the corporate channel and like it was whoever they wanted.
All this political red tape.
Now you can put whatever you want on this phone, and if people follow it, then you're going to be
again
famous.
You're the master of your own universe in that regard.
That's right. So it's $69 a year, and it's the best $69 you'll literally ever spend.
How much are you paying on fucking streaming platforms now?
No, literally. Or it's $6.90 a month, which I went to Blank Street today, got the fucking brown sugar, oat milk, whatever. It was delicious. It was $8. I was like, a month of my content is less expensive.
Like, I am cheaper than that.
I will change your fucking life. I know the only time I'll ever say I'm cheaper.
Ever. I love that so much. All right, I want to dive into dating and dating apps, even though you're not like, as you said.
No, trust me. I can talk about this forever.
You've moved into
I'm basically
spaces
still
of life.
single. Not actually at all. Fuck, that was so disrespectful. But you get it. Like I have a lot to talk about. We'll never run out. Yeah.
I want to know what you think some of the most common misconceptions or mistakes you've noticed when it comes to modern dating. Like with people kind of dating nowadays, what do you think the biggest mistakes or misconceptions they're making? Hard, I know.
That's really interesting. I've never thought about that. Misconceptions. I feel like that dating apps are a good way to meet people. I think that's a big misconception.
Really?
Yeah.
Elaborate.
Sorry, I know that's like so mean.
No, it's not.
We actually don't like.
Well, the ones I've been on, and I haven't used yours.
No, we honestly love the realness. Like that's part of what we.
It depends. Like it depends the app. I just feel like how do you have people be intentional on the app and act, because what I felt like when I was on it and I was on Raya and Hinge.
Yeah.
Me too.
Was that like I was there. I was intentionally there. I wanted to date. And it was like we matched and it went nowhere.
So not to cut you off, but
Please.
The reason why I love when people dig into this and kind of rip dating apps is because without you knowing, what you just said is like what we preach, like those exact words. Because I used Hinge when I lived in the city, and same thing. Like even as a guy, when you could kind of go on a date and like girl wants a free meal, she's like, oh, whatever. I was like, this is so not real and it's not genuine, and like it goes nowhere if I want to go somewhere, or if I don't want to go anywhere, she's like, why are you not asking me out? So what I tried to do was like make it where everybody on this platform knows you're going on a date. Like your intention is to be genuine, that when we talk, it's going to be on this date that you just initiated with me, and you can only have one date per day, and we can only chat on here for so long.
Well, fuck.
And I know you didn't know about it, but that's why I like when you.
But I'll tell all
rip
my
into
friends
them.
about it.
No,
about your app.
Yeah, for sure. And I that's why I love like talking about why people don't like the dating apps.
No,
that are
it's
kind
great,
of
and you're
known.
offering a solution, which is amazing.
Yeah. So even with you, like when you were using them, you were on there to actually meet in real life.
Of course. And like I did my fair share of virtual dating, okay? I was ready for the real deal. And the guy that I was dating before my boyfriend, like I met on Raya, and it was the only date I ever got off the app on Raya. Like I couldn't believe it.
But how? Like see, that's
I couldn't believe it because they don't
like
initiate.
even like a really successful woman like yourself, and a guy matches with you, and you're like, hey, like, are we gonna go out? They just don't
But
do it.
this is why, specifically with Rye, here's my feedback. It's like there's no prompts. It's all photo. And it's like there's nothing to go. How do you start a conversation? It's literally like, hi. Like it's so difficult with that app.
Yeah, I mean,
It's very superficial.
I found the exact same.
yeah,
thing.
I don't like to knock other apps. but
Right, fair.
When it comes to Raya, my only feedback is like, we live in LA, all of our friends are on Raya.
Right.
And I think it's great, but I'm like, have you ever gone on a date or dated someone from Raya? And they all say no. And I'm like, because all you do is you just say, oh, I'm on Raya. Like you say, I go to Erewhon, or oh, I go to Soho House. It's like
a stature thing.
It's just a social
totally,
thing.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it's cool. Like,
But what's the point? Like,
Yeah.
why are you paying for a subscription? When I got to delete my Raya subscription, I literally have never been happier.
Weight
I
off your
stopped
fucking
it.
shoulders.
Oh my God. I was like, I'm done giving you money. And no, like, it's not a shade for the app, but like, it is because I think it's not formatted. I think they did a great job with membership exclusivity, but like the format of it, I don't think is actually conducive to meeting people. I think it's about seeing someone famous and getting to match with someone famous. And then it's like, whatever.
And to be told, every date that I went off was someone that was quite prevalent, but then it's like also, to your point, that was like maybe 2 or 3 out of the, 3 years that I was on that fucking app that I actually went on to a date.
Yeah.
There was no level of intention there whatsoever.
So I commend you. Let's fucking go.
I love
I'm gonna
love
tell my friends about it because I think that they literally, I just saw like 3 of them and they were complaining about this. They're like, I literally like look at all these people I matched with, like it doesn't go anywhere.
When I
How
matched with him
frustrating.
on Hinge, I had 72 matches.
and all I did
72
and
matches.
we matched, and all I did was say, hey, I want to take you out, and she said, all right, tonight, and I was
See?
like, all right, let's do it.
Because also this is my other fucking issue with the dating. This was my number one thing. The talking stage, what is that even? The only reason you should be texting someone before, as you're like getting to know them dating, is to make the plan to go on the date. That has to happen IRL or over the phone. The texting, I think, is so sus. I was like dating a guy, texting essentially for 3 months, one summer, 2 summers ago, and he dumped me when I was like on vacation in Ibiza. Like I was at a fish shack, like sobbing my eyes off. Could not believe it. I was like, he's gonna be my boyfriend. But I realized when I look back, I was like, we were just texting. Like we weren't, like I saw him like 3 times. And oh my God, it was so embarrassing.
I feel like every woman has a similar, if not verbatim story like
Stop
that.
talking, just get on the
But
date.
I want to ask both of you, because you seem to operate the same way, and it obviously worked for you using the app.
No, I'm married. Yeah.
Like for women, how are you so confident as far as like safety and just being like, because I made the app, so obviously I think
point.
you should do it, but you give me the feedback on how that works.
So fair, to be honest with you. Like in New York City, I lived here my whole life. Like, I feel safe. Like you pick a restaurant that's
Don't go to someone's home the first day.
Yeah,
that's
like,
don't go to
fucking-
someone's home.
Yeah, and like I don't want to speak for women, but when I have to fight for my app, I'm like, listen, if you go meet somebody in a coffee shop and there's ill will from them, like you're in public, like
Yeah.
call the cops or like call your friend.
No, I
like-
mean, yeah, that's why you do go to like a public space. I don't know. I think that's kind of like we could go outside and like get kidnapped. Like I feel like
Yeah,
it's
life.
just using
Like, you have to
common
take-
sense.
and
basically.
especially like when you live in New York, which is why I made the app for New York, like you'd meet people in a bar. So if like you hit it off with somebody in a bar, you're drinking, and it's like, hey, let's go to the next bar. It's like you're
Well, I feel
essentially doing the same exact
you
thing.
know even less of somebody when you first meet them at a bar, because it's like at least in
you're
some way,
already
shape, or
drunk
form on a
with
dating
them.
app.
blacked out. I mean, oh my God. Ugh. I don't know if I'm like the poster child for safety.
But that's why like New York's different. Like the amount of sticky situations you could get into every night. It's just
And I
it's
skipped
New York.
all of them. Shocking.
So proud of you.
Thanks.
What's your advice to people who are kind of like disheartened or frustrated by the dating process?
I was so frustrated by the dating process that I was moving out of New York. And I mean that. Like when I went on my boyfriend's podcast, I was moving. At first I was gonna move to LA, but then the strike was happening. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna move to London. Like I went
Random, but okay.
literally just like went for 5 days. And I've been before, but like something struck me and I was like, I'm going, which like I literally look at retrospect, I'm like, what, my whole business is here. Like, I don't know, like amazing idea, like to go maybe on like a month-long vacation. But like I don't know if like uprooting my whole life would have been smart. But that is how I was just certain that my person wasn't in New York. I was so frustrated. I was like, I need a fresh start. I need like a challenge. Like I was so committed. And then it was so ironic that the day that I met my boyfriend, I got a call about an opportunity that literally would have prevented me from moving anywhere.
Wow.
Which it still hasn't come, like it still hasn't been announced yet. But like it literally, but like I didn't think that this guy was gonna be my boyfriend at all. I was like, oh, we had a great time on the podcast, like we flirted a little bit, like whatever. But that night, like I'll remember that day forever because that night I got like life-changing news and I was like, oh, I guess I'm staying in New York, like whatever. And then, so the point of this long-winded ass fairy tale that I just said was that like, it's so fucking annoying. I don't know if you guys feel this way. Like for me, it really did happen when, not when I least expected it, but when my guard was down and I honestly, when I least expected it, like when I just stopped having an expectation at all, when I stopped being like, oh my God, like, and I think that was the thing, like every date I went on before, I was like, okay, but does he like me? Do I like him? Like, is it gonna be my husband? Like, da, 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 da. Like I literally showed up to a podcast as ready to work and like there was just no expectation and then it kind of
So funny you say
flopped.
that. The podcast that we were actually on earlier, a beautiful woman named Remy, her podcast is like, what is it? What I hate about my husband. That's
Obsessed.
the incredible.
Great
And she's
name.
hilarious.
Great branding.
Incredible. But she was basically saying that she's a life coach, she's a dating coach, and she talks to people about it. She goes, I suggest the fact that you go out, like if you're going out to the bars, you're going these dating apps, pretending almost like you're in a relationship. So there's not that air.
You need to do something.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about the dating app. It's like, and I'm curious how you could, I don't know, just an interesting thing I've thought about, which is like, it's very like, the intention is we're going on a date and we're seeing if we like each other. That does add a lot of fucking
course it
pressure.
does.
My response to her question, Remy, was like treat a first date as like meeting a new friend.
Yeah.
Like just hey,
It's
like
so hard. though.
that's
So
It's
difficult.
like
It's so much
almost
easier
I
said
know.
than
It's
done.
literally, I literally couldn't do it. And so, but yes, I think like it's training and like, it's also really getting to the mentality of like, what's meant for you, like will happen. Like it just will, like you're not going to not meet your person. I always said that. And I always believed that to some degree, but like, I feel also get outside of your comfort zone, like try different things, try a new app or like say yes to things.
Do you-
Like I
So
said
funny.
yes to that podcast.
Well, it was so parallel. I was on my way back to Australia. I literally like was packing
See?
my life up. I was
See?
ready, and then I met this motherfucker, and
No,
I was
I'm
like, God
telling
damn
you.
it!
But do you think that you said you were kind of beaten up by New York with dating
So being up.
because
I didn't I didn't know about your fucking app.
But living here, being like a guy dating in New York, I not feel bad for him, but like it's weird the way men treat dating in New York. It's like we don't take dating serious because there's so many options.
Paradox of choice.
Yeah, and it bites us in the ass in the long
I don't even
run.
think it's a New York thing. I think that's just like
I think it's in everywhere.
But I feel like New York, it's different because like living in LA or
right.
a lot of
there's
big
less
cities,
spontaneity in LA, right?
New
You can
York,
plan.
literally every second of every
I mean,
day,
you could literally go on a date
you could
right now.
Yeah, you could just go to the bar and it's like, why are there 50 people at the bar at 4 o'clock on a Tuesday? It's like it's just New York.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
I feel like that's a lot of major cities, though. As you, to your point, like there's pretty much fucking everywhere. It's
But
like
New
this-
York's so condensed where it's just like
we
if
know
you-
you love New York.
I feel like, I mean, how could you not? I feel like it's just honestly like if you want to feel control over a situation you don't have control over to some degree, it's focused on yourself. Like I really was in a place where I was like focused on work, like focused on like becoming healthier, like dating and being like, well, I'm moving anyway. That's a good mentality to have. I'm moving. And I remember when I was dating the guy before my boyfriend who was such a fucking dick, like
Rude.
literally the worst, the right guy. Hate. He was like, the whole time I was dating him and he was treating me like shit. In my head, I was like, well, I'm fucking moving anyway. So like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm literally using you for sex. That's a good mentality to have, eh? It
well,
is.
you moving back to Australia, we met in LA. I was only in LA for like
4 months, maybe.
quarantine vacation.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like hang out with every girl in LA. And then I met her and I was like, oh shit.
No more hanging
Yeah.
out. I know when it hits hard.
It does. Like we
And
were talking about.
but that's such a great feeling, right? Like, no, for people that are single to know that, like, when you meet your person, like, it's just you're gonna know.
And it's
I think you're gonna know.
It sounds so
100%.
corny. It sounds
It's
so cliche.
It sucks that all the cliches are true, but
The
they
cliches
are.
are cliches for a reason.
100%.
They're around for a reason. And it's like
So
literally,
true.
I knew on our first date, I literally knew. I got home and I was like fucking red because we made out in the car for like 20 minutes before I went up to my apartment because I was like, I'm not sleeping with you tonight. I'm going home.
This is after your first date.
That was our first date.
I did this exactly.
And then I went in and I was with my roommate and she was like, you are literally fucking levitating. Like you're so filled. And I was like, I don't know how, I don't know when I'm going to marry this man.
Oh, okay.
And it
Damn,
was
you
just,
really knew.
it was
Okay.
literally was like this. I mean, because I'd been like a serial monogamist. I'd been in long-term relationships.
just knew.
And I
When you
never
know, you
felt
know.
that way, ever felt that
Yeah.
way. And so I just I innately knew. And I think you do, you really do. Whether it's going to be a marriage, whether it's going to be like a long-term meaningful relationship, there's something in our bodies. We're made up of fucking energy. Something in your body that reacts to somebody else and goes, yep, all right.
Oh, 100%.
That's my person.
Yeah, and that should actually make you feel so good if you're single because you won't say the wrong thing, you won't do the wrong thing, you won't text them the wrong thing because like when it's your person, like it's not gonna matter.
No.
Yeah, I totally agree with that too. Where it's like, there's no game. It's like, oh, do I text? Do I wait 3 days? Do I play it cool? It's like, if you guys hit it off and that's it, it doesn't matter.
And
The
I
games
remember
are off.
I was like queen of like fucking screenshotting every fucking message to guys and like having it in a group chat. Like it would be like actually
Analysis.
you were actually like not speaking to me, you were speaking to 10 girls. And always. And he was the first one where I just never even thought about it. Like I never even thought about screenshotting. I didn't need to. I felt so
sense of
safe.
calm. Sense of calm that comes along
true.
with it. And like my advice to people always like love or like a really serious relationship should not be chaotic. There's going to be chaotic moments, but innately at your core,
Especially at the beginning.
especially at the beginning, it should be calm. It should be joy. It should just be. You should get butterflies and feel that kind of like feeling.
Right.
But it should never be chaos.
Right.
Oh my god. All right. So how do you kind of see dating evolving within the next couple of years?
I do see there being a shift, and I've already started to see it towards in real life happenings, which I think like could be an extension of your business, just as a career person.
Business advice. There you go.
But I think that I've noticed that, like I was invited to like a speed dating thing. It was so expensive though, I remember. And like, I was like, how are they even getting people to like pay for this? It was a really cool concept though. But it was like,
what was the concept?
it was like they invite like 8 guys, 8 girls. And like, I think you pay like $150, which is like a lot of
It's
money.
a decent amount of money. Yeah.
Right? And you speed date, and then at the end you like write 3 names, and they write 3 names, and no one wrote my name, so I was like, "Fuck."
I would
They're
definitely
intimidating.
wait.
Because you know why? Actually, you know why? Because like they had little prompts on the tables, but because I'm always fucking selling, I like brought my card game, and I was like, no, let's just play my card game instead. And all of them were probably like,
awesome.
what are you doing? Whatever.
Wait,
You
that's
really
a
truly
great-
are an entrepreneur.
But that's a
aren't
great segue because I don't want to miss. How did Let's Fucking Date start, and where is Let's Fucking Date at?
Let's Fucking Date started through Let's Fucking Date, the reality show where I was dating, and I just like would write questions because I had to date all these guys and I had to keep it like funny and sexy and crazy. And then I just wrote them down, and one girl was like, she DM'd me and she was like, oh, like I need all those questions. Like I wish you were just with me on one of my first dates, or like, and I was like, wait, what if I could be? Hence the card game,
And now
which
we're
I have for you guys. We don't have to play it now, but like,
amazing.
You
no, we're gonna
do?
use it this week.
but yeah, why don't you guys?
On
It's
the
like you'll
street.
have great sex. I have 3 of them.
I mean, we already do, but
Oh, we bought this.
You have it.
Time out. If you
we
look
did
at
buy this.
if you look at our on the street in
but I
New
still
York,
want it.
we
That's
we
really
played the
cute.
game.
I'll have it.
Wow.
It's good.
Oh my god, you're so cute and cartoon conform.
I know, right?
I knew that we had.
Can you
had
make a
partners.
cartoon?
So I
Can you-
fucking play, and
I want to open this.
I have good things coming. Oh, I just pitched a Spanish version of this game to Bad Bunny at like this Forbes conference.
How did that go?
It was a 3-minute pitch for $300,000 grant. It was amazing. I had a fever, and I actually also was pitching to 3,000 people. I had no idea. Like when I walked on stage, I was like, hi. I killed it. He thought they were interesting. He put them in his pocket. I didn't win because like an amazing organization about like mental health won. It was like cards for fucking or mental health. Like I think we know what
I
the
feel like they
winner
go
is.
hand in hand. It's totally
But
fun.
that was great. I know that was the only issue is that like no one took off that wrapper
I
on
can't
the
fucking
stage,
get it
and
off.
Bad Bunny was like, "What the fuck do I like? How do I open this?"
So now how's that growing? Like how's that doing?
It's doing really well. We sold 65,000
okay.
decks.
65,000 decks.
Yeah,
Wow.
business will be booming,
gonna
and
get this
there's
open.
more to come. I can't really say, but it's an empire. I
Babe.
fuck, date, and play.
This is fucking incredible.
Yeah, watch her
Warning,
on the
this game
stream.
may
We
result in
played that.
enhanced connections, increased sex drive, and uncontrollable laughter.
Yeah, people like have like broken beds. They made babies from this game. No, like people have been like
We're-
literally pregnant things.
We're trying to make babies, so that will work
Open-
perfectly.
Oh yeah, no, literally. And proposals.
Oh, that's such a good idea. Like, I'm gonna add this. But we did
It's
buy
funny because
this.
my
Yeah,
boyfriend
we
actually
did on the street with
Yeah.
the game.
my boyfriend opened it up on his podcast because he bought it, which was really cute.
All
We
right.
weren't dating at the time, obviously. And but the question that he like picked was like, "What do you want to do to me right now?"
You're like all the
Ask a
things.
question.
I just picked a third base question, so we've already skipped a whole bunch of bases.
Okay,
which I'm
great.
very happy about. What is something that you wish you could unlearn?
Unlearn.
Unlearn.
That's a third base?
That's the third base
I
question.
feel like
This is deep.
I think I've spent part of my healing was unlearning, but like unlearning that I wasn't good enough or quote beautiful enough. It seems actually crazy to say it now.
It's
because
insane
I feel
to say.
so like, but I think that like society wise, like you're really like taught to hate yourself. Like it's kind of insane.
It's pushed. It's shoved down your throat. On a
It's like
daily basis.
literally like, how can we make you hate yourself? Like, how are we gonna do it?
We live
Like,
in a culture of comparison.
and like very, very young too. So I wish I unlearned that.
I love that. I'm just gonna go backwards. Second base. What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done on a date?
Oh my God, so many. This wasn't a date, but like I went to Acme. Have you been to Acme?
We had Lindsay from We Met at Acme on the podcast.
So it's like a club in New York City. It's like a lounge. I went out that night. I wasn't wearing underwear. I was wearing a little black dress. I like literally like was giving out my number. I was just like dancing. Like I literally was the main character. I've never been more the main character in my life. I was so blacked out. I like remember just like the lights turning on like at 4 a.m. We all like shuffle outside.
Oh, that's the worst fucking feeling of your life.
And I remember this guy like I gave him my number at some point. I remember, and then he kept staring at me, and I was like, "Oh my God, like he's trying to buy." And he like came over, and he was like, and this was the time, whatever. He's like, "Looks like the red wave happened after all." And guys, when I looked down at my thighs, it was legit like CSI, like Law and Order, like blood everywhere. Like I've never seen anything like it. It was terrifying.
I used to thought you were sweaty from the club.
I literally thought like I was like, why does it smell like iron? It was so
That is the new best quote on this podcast
I was like,
ever.
I'm so confused. But yeah, crazy. Blood everywhere.
Dude, that's horrific.
It was amazing. I made a TikTok about it, went like hella fucking viral, and it was a great plotty story. So it wasn't a date. Oh, but then he asked me on a date. He was like, "You wild one."
How did you handle it? Were you confident?
Oh, was I confident? Of course. I was like, someone get a photo of this because this is gonna be amazing content later. Then I called myself a cab, and then he was like, "Oh, you wild one," and I was like, "Hee," and he was like, "Let's go on a date." He never followed up, which is fair.
Yeah.
But it sucks because like if we were together, like our future like nursery could be sponsored by like Tampax.
That would have been a beautiful love story. I really would.
would have.
Okay, first base. If you were a soup, what type of soup would you be?
Oh, French onion, not even a question. I'm like so extra and like I have layers, gooey. I'm a little cheesy sometimes. Like I'm just like the main event.
I love that you literally are so fucking confident that you have these answers like straight.
Well, also I wrote the game.
It's true. It's true. Wait, so you know everything in here? Okay, wait.
so.
Home run? Because we went we went
Okay.
from third base to first base and now to home run. What's your go-to song on your sex playlist?
Weekend by SZA.
Oh yeah.
See,
that's a
no,
good one.
I'm
What's yours? You play our sex playlist.
I do have I have like a curated sex playlist and I love it. There's
music. Fucking with music is great.
It's so funny. When we
underrated.
first started
Yeah.
dating, she'd play music, and I was like, "Why do you always have to play music while having
'Cause it's
sex?
like-
Like she'll stop
Yeah.
us making out and play the music." I'm like, "Why do you do that?"
I need music.
Now-
I need fucking music.
now that we're
Making
like,
the vibe.
I
but
know.
now that we're like married and like we're busy,
Yeah.
and we're like trying to have sex, I'm like, put the music on. She's like, "No, you
Well, he
love
knows
the music."
He
And
knows
I'm
if he
like,
walks
"Put
in
it
the
on."
house and the music on, it's fucking time
There's
to go.
something about the music, the rhythm, the vibes.
Anything
like-
DVSN. That really gets me in the fucking mood.
Oh, DVSN. That's
Yeah,
what you play.
really gets me
Okay,
in the
good.
fucking mood. Like
Okay, good.
it's just got it's beautiful.
It's just like another sense, right? Like
Yeah.
your senses, you're activating them.
Well, it's better because like from time to time there'll be like sports on the background, and I'm
Oh,
like,
not
like
that.
what's happening on the
Go.
One time I caught, I'm fairly sure one time I was giving you a blowjob and I caught you watching sports and I was like, not
It's a
happening.
dream, though. That's a guy's dream.
I
That's
know.
okay.
It's a guy's
Or you got in trouble though. You got in real trouble. Because I was doing my best fucking work. That's what
Yeah,
was
yeah,
annoying about it. I was like, I'm giving my absolute fucking 10 out of 10 effort right now and I'm really pissed off that you're
No, I'd
watching
be fuming. I'd be fuming.
fucking men
What
run into each
sport?
other.
Like at least make it a good one.
Yeah.
Like tennis.
It's probably something stupid
Tennis.
like baseball.
Oh,
no,
worst
probably
fucking
football or
sport.
basketball.
Ridiculous. Do you have any more questions before we step into rapid fire?
Yeah, one more question. Joe and the Juice. How, why, and amazing. Like,
I love
lit-
that.
just because, as Hannah knows, my addictions are like working and drinking
Joe and the Juice?
coffee.
Oh, and coffee. Okay. You like Joe and the Juice.
And
He loves Joe and the
the
Juice.
fact that you partnered with Joe and the Juice, I was like, that's the coolest partnership I've ever seen.
Well, his name's Joe.
Fair
Think about
enough. And you're the juice.
That's it, baby.
I like to say I'm hoe. I was the hoe in the juice. That campaign. Honestly, like my biggest thing was, you know, I had known the woman who was running the PR and the whole campaign, like from my days at Refinery 29. And she said, like, I picked you for this because your brand is fucking strong and amazing and like you're amazing, but also because you literally were like the only person who would respond to my emails. You even called me once, like, because she was trying to pitch her client to me and you were really nice. And I like, it stuck with me. And I always say that when people ask me, like, how did it come to be? Because it's like, yeah, like being nice is like the bare minimum, but not a lot of people do it.
Oh, I always tell people.
And it's like, so it just like, it's amazing how long of a way it will go. And I think about like creators or people I've met and like, you know, even just like, I just know, I can tell you right now who are the nicest ones. I'm not going to do it. But like, it's even of all the celebrities I met, and I met like literally everyone, like Meghan Markle, the nicest, like,
Really?
this is pre-Harry, this is pre-everything. I just thought she was like, it stuck with me forever.
But that shows you when you like you catch that old adage, like you catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar.
Beyond. I can't even believe.
And you remember it. It sticks in your mind.
And like when you think about it, like the biggest stars in the world are like the nicest, or that's what I like to think. So anyway, that's really how it started because I was nice. And I had a really strong brand. They love the For the Plot. They love the idea of making a For the Plot shake. And the collab took a year. I created everything. I did the smoothie. You know, I wanted something that was like fucking delicious. I think with that, like again, like I just like very much created a smoothie that I wanted to drink every day.
What's in the smoothie?
It was strawberry, banana, peanut butter,
Yum.
like vanilla plant protein powder, and like agave, like vegan, but like fire. I'm not even vegan, but I was just like wanted to appease the girlies.
Incredible.
And it was just something I wanted to drink every day because I was like, if I'm gonna have to like market this, then like I need to be able to walk into Joe and Juice every day and fucking drink this shake.
Yeah.
So why would I'm not making it for anyone but myself. And it popped the fuck off. We did the billboard. Like I just like
What was the meaning behind having the coffee being naked with the billboard? Was there like meaning behind that?
it was a shake. It was my shake, not coffee.
Well, was there?
His mind is still so very clearly on
it's
coffee.
fine.
He's
Joe,
like,
I
want a
get it.
coffee.
It's like his personality.
It really is.
The shake, I love how I'm holding it. The meaning behind it, well, the whole concept of the shoe was like for the plot, like get naked, like embrace who you are. And like I literally was like, I think like these photos are fire. You're welcome. But also like, let's put them on a billboard. And like they really like, they fucking ran with that concept. I also will say like they're based in Copenhagen, like working with a European brand is so different than working with
really?
like they're the equivalent to Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts like chose someone like Charlie D'Amelio for their campaign. Amazing call. Think about me and like my tits versus like a Charlie D'Amelio who's like, it's like, I think American brands like to play it a lot more safe. And I'm
1000%.
very subversive for American brands, although I've worked with like everyone, like Nike, Plan B, whatever. But I think like when I think about Joe and the Juice, they took that kind of risk because they're European and they don't give a fuck. And like they love it. They think it's like hot.
And how was it? I saw
it
the
is.
picture of your mom and you. Like, how cool was that?
Oh
Like,
my
what'd
God.
your mom think of it?
Well, I just feel like it's like, I think that was a very sweet question. So happy, but also I literally have always said like, I'm gonna be on the billboard. Like every time I walk by the Calvin Klein one, I'm like, me, it's gonna happen. And so it's like the Queen of Confidence thing. It's like wanting to meet your person. Like you literally write the plot of your life. So if you, and I've written it, I've literally, I can find a journal entry that says like billboard check, like it's gonna happen. If you really like write your life as a script that's already gonna happen, and I don't mean like the how, get rid of it, the when, get rid of it. Those two things like you can't control. But the what, like if you just decide, like all that shit's gonna happen to you. So I will see you fuckers at the Met Gala.
Yes, you fucking will. You are the biggest case for manifestation I think I've ever met. I used to think it used to be him, but now you've trumped him.
Well,
Why I'm a woman.
We had a debate coming into this. I was
Baby,
like, who do
yes,
you think's
you
more
are.
confident, me or Serena?
I was like,
And
her.
She's like, to her.
That's very
But it's funny because same thing. Like, I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know why. But I was like, I'm gonna run my own company.
You are.
I'm gonna sell my company for $1 billion.
You will.
I don't know how to who, but it's gonna happen.
Now we're going to the fucking Met Gala. I'm putting that on my list.
Yeah,
I want to go there.
100%.
That sounds amazing.
Cover of Vogue, directing a Super Bowl commercial. There's a lot of things, but that's the thing that I don't give a shit if someone thinks like, oh my god, she thinks like, fine, and like make fun of me. Like, who cares?
And the people that make fun of you are the people who are too scared to go after it
100
themselves.
fucking %.
That's it. That's
100%.
absolutely it.
I don't even care.
All right, rapid fire. Are you ready?
Oh my god.
These are my favorites.
Yeah.
Personally.
I need to drink like a sip.
Take a little sipperoni of water.
Let's do it.
If you could create one dating app feature, what would it be and why? That's like not already on the market nowadays. I know it's hard.
Your dating app. has every feature you need.
Aw.
It's the best fucking plug we could ever ask
Yeah,
for in our
seriously.
lives. What is your favorite unconventional date idea that you think more people should try?
Like maybe like parachuting, like jumping out of a plane on a first date.
Whoa.
Why not?
Definitely not go on that date. It would terrify.
For the pot. I did that in Australia actually.
Did you?
I jumped out of a plane.
I've hung out of a helicopter naked for like a photo shoot, but I would never in my fucking life jump out of an airplane. Never. Not a chance.
Body.
It was a fucking cool experience. And if you could give a piece of advice to your younger self about dating and relationships, what would it be?
You're gonna meet your person, so just enjoy the ride.
Just fucking enjoy the journey. Relax.
Enjoy the fucking plot. Wait, back to the feature. What do we think about having like your sign on dating apps? Does it matter? Like, what do you think about that?
I'm personally because I'm very much not like heavily into astrology,
guess
but I
people
do
are.
appreciate it. But then I feel like maybe it would turn off a certain
You're right.
subset of human beings.
And also, I guess like you come in with a preconceived idea of who they are.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's like 3 or 4 apps that are purely sign based.
Yeah.
Are they?
So
Yeah.
I don't know how they're doing, but
No, it's interesting though.
it is interesting. We have a little optional sign thing, which is good.
In your opinion, what's the most underrated quality or trait that people should be prioritizing when they look for a partner?
Confidence. Not even a question.
How
Everything.
did I not know that was going to be
It's
the answer?
everything.
I love that so much. What is your ultimate act of self-care and love?
Masturbating. It's the most.
I literally love you so much.
I love you
On
too.
every fucking level of my body and my being right now.
Because you're a Sagittarius.
We literally are the same person. What's something most people don't know about you?
That I'm very like soft and sweet on the inside.
You can really tell.
Oh fuck.
Just I can only tell because I'm sitting in front of you, not everybody else. If you weren't in your current profession, what would you be doing?
Probably therapist.
Yeah? That comes in that soft and sweet side of you, though, doesn't it? That compassionate
But
side.
I don't want to listen. I want to talk.
What inspires you most creatively?
New York City.
Really? The city
Taylor
itself.
Swift. Hey, I'm just saying that's Taylor Swift's shtick.
He's the biggest fucking
fair.
Swiftie ever.
Oh, so am I. I'm
the
going to her movie on
biggest
Sunday. You want to see the
Swiftie.
movie?
I
we were
think
just talking about
we were just
it.
talking
We
about
have
it.
to go see the movie.
I will go watch it. I'm
we-
not the biggest. Okay, I have nothing against
Have you
it.
watched Americana, the documentary about her?
No, I have not.
There you go. Watch it.
Then I'll be obsessed.
Yeah. Like
Alright.
it just like I think you don't like you're
At this point, I trust you with myself, so I guess I will.
I was
Watch it.
always afraid to show my true Swiftie colors until I got married because like, people are gonna think I'm like soft and
My
gay.
No, not at all.
My sister-in-law bought me a T-shirt that says "Hi, I'm the bride, it's me," like part of
Yeah.
the song, and then he wore it to
I wore it to
the
Equinox,
other day.
Equinox near you yesterday,
and
there was
the gays probably loved it.
there was a gay guy in there wearing a Taylor Swift shirt, and he kept looking at me. And I was like, "Fuck! Like this is why I shouldn't have
No,
worn
this
it."
is great.
But
What
I
do you
loved
mean?
it. I
If
loved
you get the
it.
gays' approval,
That's
you're
it, baby.
Oh,
You're
I
on the right
loved it.
thing. All right, 2 more. One thing you cannot live without.
These days, my boyfriend.
Aw.
Oh my god, it's so embarrassing.
No, it's so beautiful. Actually, 2 more. A skill or talent you wish you had.
I wish I could like either sing or cook or dance. But like I'm like a good dancer, but like I mean like
Legitimately fucking dance.
yeah. Or cook. Maybe I think cook is the top.
Yeah.
It's never gonna happen.
I love cooking. I can teach you. It's fine.
I just don't.
She's like, I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
One thing you're grateful for today.
Meeting you guys. What a lovely
Hour.
time. Truly. I
all honesty.
really like unexpected and amazing.
I'm so happy to hear that. This has been
I hope like I know that expectations were pretty high on your end, so I hope I like fulfilled.
not only
They
did you
were
fulfill,
amazing.
but you just are like, I don't know, you're so much more like you're so big in what you do, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
was
such a large
intimidated walking in.
personality.
You were like, "Hey, you're here. Hi, nice to meet you." I was like,
I think kind of what to your point earlier about talking about celebrities, like you just never know how people are going to be, but you're so down to earth and you're so sweet, you're so genuine. So that was like a beautiful, shocking surprise about it all.
Amazing. Well, I had the best time. Let's definitely double date.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
I will tell everyone. Get me a code for your app because I'm going to tell all my friends to.
"That'd be
download.
amazing."
Yeah, let's
And
do it.
obviously, you're already huge, but where people
Where
can
can
find you
people
if
find
they
Serena
haven't.
no, I'm Serena Kerrigan across all platforms.
Oh, Serena, this has been absolute babe.
Likewise.
Thank you,
You
Serena.
guys rock.
Appreciate you.